Okay, Leonard.
Okay, Leonard, that's what she says. So we just got finished watching Leave It to Beaver. And now
Scoot over.
it's time to listen to Lenny and the Beaver. That's right.
I'm a beaver now?
No, yeah. You have beaver, right? I mean, do men have beaver or just women? Is it just a female thing or is it a male thing? Let's go to the chat room. Is beaver strictly a female thing? Do men have beaver? Okay, anyway, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get it on. Good morning, Andrea. How you doing?
Fine, Leonard.
I tell people not to say it, but when it comes to you and me, who we live together, we have to say it because we don't talk to each other the whole day. That's not true. Anyway, look, you've been ranting throughout the house. You've been ranting about what Francona, and did anybody see the picture of Andrea actually talking to Terry Francona about not pitching Savali? What do you think?
Well, I mean, that same day you talked about Savali's record against the Yankees, and it was horrific. Plus, he just hasn't been pitching at all this year, hardly, and I just couldn't believe that Francona used Savali when he had, their bullpen has been phenomenal. And so you have a situation where De Los Santos, Morgan, Hentges, Stefan, Karinchak, Emmanuel Clase, they could all go 2 innings. And instead, he decides to put Savali in, who walks the first batter in 4 pitches. Okay.
And they had a combined 2.44 ERA. They had a combined 2.87 xFIP this season. So, all right, look.
So, when we talk about Shane Bieber, too.
Yeah.
And I hear him last night on Power Alley, they were talking about how, you can't wreck Bieber's career just to advance in the playoffs and all of this.
Wreck his career. 2 innings, that's all he needed.
You can't risk wrecking Bieber's career. And I say, are you kidding me? Like, this is what it's come down to. You have relief pitchers that can't go out and throw 15 pitches 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
15 pitches. Like, you have a starting pitcher who throws a couple hundred innings a season, and he can't come pitch for a couple innings just to get the team started. I mean, honestly, it's like, what matters more than advancing in the playoffs, especially for a team like Cleveland, who was not expected to go that far, and they probably would have lost to Houston anyway, but that's not the point. The point is, why are our pitchers and our baseball players so weak that they can't come out and throw 15 pitches 2 days in a row? That's too much to ask a guy that's making $10 million a year to pitch 15 pitches 2 days in a row?
I kind of agree with you on that.
You kind of agree?
I definitely agree with you. You don't pitch.
Do you wholeheartedly agree with me,
Wholeheartedly agree. Okay? And by the way, that picture...
That's the only thing we wholeheartedly agree on.
That picture that you saw with Andrea, we went to Cleveland, went to a game, sat in the dugout, played around on the field, and went to a Francona press conference. So that was real. It was a couple of years ago, though. So to answer your question, she did not really talk about Aaron Savali, but it was absolutely great. She talked with Terry Francona, and you could see Francona looking her right in the eye.
It's just that everybody's a wimp. I could go out and throw 15 pitches 2 days in a row.
You think so, huh? All right. Well, anyway.
All right. So, Joe, what's his name? Montgomery?
Yeah.
What's his name? Joe?
No, not.
What's his name?
I forget his name. Anyway, Montgomery, okay?
Yeah, the pitcher.
The kid who was
They traded him for Harrison Bader.
Yeah, for Harrison.
You constantly get confused with Hader. But
no, I don't.
Anyway.
Never.
What do you think of that deal now?
I was very much...
How could we not know his first name?
I was very much against Montgomery for Bader, and when it was made...
Bader was hurt. He hadn't played all season.
Yeah, so. Bader was hurt. Montgomery and the Yankees couldn't find a pitcher. I will still say that Montgomery, I'm still leaning towards Montgomery overall. It's much more difficult to get a good pitcher than it is to get what Bader, even though Bader could be a 2020 guy. it's still much more difficult to get a good left-handed pitcher in Montgomery than get a guy like Bader.
Saying Bader could be a 2020 guy is like saying Buxton could be a 30-30 guy.
No, totally.
It's the same thing.
It's
Neither
totally
of them can be
different.
healthy. How? Bader's never healthy.
What do you mean he's never healthy? He wasn't healthy this year. That's it.
When did he ever get close to 2020?
Well, you know what? He hasn't played that much.
Saying that
and
could.
Next year, the stolen bases are going to be off the wall. So 20 stolen bases, even though it sounds good, is not going to be nearly as effective as it would be this year,
Why?
last
You think
year.
there's going to be a lot more steals?
Oh, come on. When you only had... Greg is in the chat room. Now we can talk. When you only have 2 pickoff moves, come on. And the whole thing. They want more stolen bases in Major League Baseball. Let's say hello to the chat room. Greg is here. Good morning, Greg. Chris Gallo finished with his blood test. Hope everything is good. DK Lush, Eddie Heckman, Jeff Trilla, Mal Pal, Merrill Mitchell, Star Dog, Tommy Johnston, Unholy Toledo, White Sox, Alan Zelmo, and the Hartson brothers will be here soon. Good morning to you all, and nice to see you all. Okay.
Merrill's here.
Merrill is here. Mitchell will be right behind him. Now, so let me just ask you, so do you like these playoffs, the way they're structured?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because I don't think that the wild card should be decided by one game.
Okay, so, but what about the fact that the way they're structured, three of the
What,
four...
Are we feeling bad for these guys because they get a few days of rest? Acting like they
I
can't
don't
come
know.
back
You
and
know
play.
what?
Like they're just... I mean, it's so ridiculous how nobody in the media is ever happy with anything. If they change the rules, they're pissed off about it. And then if they don't change the rules, they're pissed off about it. Baseball dying, all this crap. The bottom line is they got a few days off. I'm sure there's players on the team that were thankful they got some days off. Look at Verlander, what he did. They didn't have any problem last night. Houston... Did they have a problem with rest last night?
No, it's either going to be the Yankees are going to be overtired. Well, the Yankees are going to be overtired because after their game yesterday, they got on a plane. They flew to Houston, and they had to play. And you could say that the Astros had too much rest, so there's an excuse for everything. By the way, how much you paying for Montgomery next year?
I don't even know his first name. Okay.
Well, it doesn't mean we know it. How much you paying for him? Like 13?
Yeah, maybe.
How much you paying for Bader next year?
Are you kidding?
No,
I'm not buying Bader next year.
You know, why not?
I'm not putting
2020. You don't think so?
No, I don't.
All right.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay, so when I was growing up...
I like the fact that he plays for the Yankees. It helps him.
When I was growing up, Star Dog is here. Good morning to the great Star Dog.
Eddie Heckman, we're doing this for you.
Eddie Heckman is here. There you go. Okay, now listen carefully. When I was growing up, me and Unholy Toledo, there were 8 teams in the American League and 8 teams in the National League. What do you think of this? Whoever came in first place played each other.
The 2 top
That's
players.
it. There were no playoffs. Team who came in first, the Yankees, played the team who came in first in the National League, whoever it was, and that's how they did it. There were no playoffs. It's all made for TV, blah, blah, blah. And it's really, in my opinion, as much as I love these games
the
games are
playoffs
terrific.
Make it better.
I don't know.
Sorry.
But what about the validity of the season when it comes to play? And it's a good thing. It's every playoff series should be, so they should cut the season short a little bit and have every playoff series be 4 out of 7. What do you think of that?
No, I don't think that's a good idea. I really like the playoffs the way they are. I think they made some changes this year that I like. I do not care if you have to rest a few days. Boo freaking who for you, okay? At least teams like the Phillies. Look, there was a point in the season where the Phillies weren't even going to make the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. Is that thing...
That's pretty good. Now, let me ask you this question. Now, let me ask the chat room. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want to talk about the Phillies?
No, I
was just trying to make a point that there was
Yeah.
a lot of the season where the Phillies did not even seem that they were going to make the playoffs.
That's absolutely
right. Now,
right.
they're fighting for the National League champions with the Padres, who also did not seem like they were good enough to make the playoffs just recently.
And we'll get to a lot of that in just a minute.
This is a tidbit out of order, but I want to say it because
What?
Malpel's here.
Go ahead.
since 2016, every team that's beaten the Dodgers in the playoffs has won the World Series.
That's right.
So,
okay.
I mean, the Padres, okay? And yesterday there was 45,000 people, okay, at the game in San Diego.
That's a great little nugget there. Every team that has beaten the Dodgers has won the World Series.
Every team that's taken the Dodgers out in the playoffs has won the World Series.
That's pretty good.
I like that tidbit.
I like that tidbit.
All right, moving on. Bryce Harper.
Well,
your notes say this.
Well, I don't have notes.
Okay.
We just talk baseball.
Well,
who's had a better career?
Let's think it's Bryce Harper?
I'm not thinking anything. I never think.
Bryce Harper's had a better career than Mike Trout.
Asking the chat room.
Yeah.
Who is having a better career? Bryce Harper or Mike Trout? And keep in mind, you know how many playoff games Mike Trout has had in his career? Zippo.
How many has Harper had?
Well, whatever he said.
Okay, he's 12 for 28 in this postseason with a .429 batting average and an OPS approaching 1.5.
1.5.
That's unbelievable.
Who's had a better? And all right,
let me tell you something.
So who are you taking next year?
We talk about you talked about Eric Cross and his top 20.
Yes, I talked about that.
Was Harper in there?
Yes, I believe he was.
He better be. He's a first rounder. This guy's going to be the best player in baseball probably next year.
Well, so in other words, you're taking, if you have a choice, you're up, you want to get a big outfielder, you're going to take Harper over Trout?
Yes.
You know how many home runs Trout hit this year? Don't look. Don't look.
2.
How many?
I can't help it. I did the research.
How many home runs has Mike Trout hit this year?
Harper only hit 18.
How many home runs has Mike Trout
2,
hit?
I said. Don't you listen?
Home runs?
I said 2.
Read it again.
Oh, shit.
Knucklehead.
40.
40 home runs.
And Harper only hit 18.
I think he hit more than that.
But how many stolen bases did Mike Trout get?
Wait a second. Mike Trout. All right, but still. 40 home runs in a season.
He hit 40.
Where he was out for a long. So who are you taking next year?
Harper.
You're taking Harper over Trout
because look, and you guess their age difference.
What about the chat room?
Guess their age difference.
Merrill Hartson says he's taking Trout. Okay, Merrill's taking Trout. Anybody? It's Jordan Montgomery. Thank you, Eddie Ekman. Jordan Montgomery. I think next year he's going to have a terrific season. Yes.
We think of Mike Trout as kind of being over the hill a little bit, right?
Like
me. That's kind of.
You think I'm over the hill?
Yeah, a little.
You think a little over the hill? Don't put your head on my shoulder. Right?
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
When we're drafting, we tend to think of players, and Mike Trout, we think of him. I think generally people think of him as past his prime, right?
Mike Trout?
Yeah.
Why? 40 home runs? How many games did he play? Look that up. How many games did Mike Trout play?
Well,
how many at-bats did he play? Did he get? And you think he's past the thing about
only
Trout?
Because look, he played 119 games this year, and he still hit 40 homers.
And he still hit 40.
I know, but the 2 years before that, in the shortened season, he did play 53 games. But in 2021, he only played in 36 games.
Okay.
So, because of that. And because of it,
Mike Trout has a long way to go.
Questions and then say nah.
I'm going to say whatever I want because I'll tell you why. And do you think the Angels are going to be aggressive in this offseason?
Their team sucks.
Do you think the Angels are going to be aggressive in the offseason?
Shohei Ohtani's getting pissed.
Do you think that Shohei Ohtani...
He's got a year left on his contract, so he's not going anywhere,
and
but he's pissed.
It's 30,000... But it's good. Because now he's got a year left on his contract rather than just being free agent eligible.
Yeah, but he's getting sick and tired of losing, and he even said so.
That's right. So it looks like the Angels may be making a deal for... I predicted yesterday that Shohei Ohtani is going to the Mets. That's what I predicted. Not because I'm a Met fan, because I really believe the Mets... failed to meet expectations this year in spite of the fact that they won so many games. I think that the Mets are going to make a big hit of Ohtani this year. I also think it's possible if Ohtani goes, Mike Trout may go too if they sell the Angels. And the Angels decide to rebuild, they will sell Trout and they will sell Ohtani. How
What,
about
they're
that?
talking about selling the team?
Yes, they are. And it's very likely to happen. And along with that, Jeff Trella is here. Good morning to Jeff. I really believe Kenny Flamia. Good morning to Kenny. It's going to be big. And,
Okay,
but
hold on. We
Ohtani's
have other
patience.
stuff to talk about. Yes.
Well, we have a lot of stuff to talk
Scroll
about.
up a little bit. You
Okay,
passed up
scroll
some
up.
stuff.
I know I passed up stuff. Here's the phone. Yesterday, imagine getting an RBI hit off your brother
Austin Nola and
in a
Aaron
playoff
Nola.
game.
How fun.
Are you kidding me?
What about the mother? Who's she rooting for?
Well, the mother, they interview, what's his name? The guy with the, Rosenthal, Kenny Rosenthal, was
The
able.
bow tie?
He
Is that what you're saying?
the bow tie. He interviewed the father, but the mother wouldn't talk.
Why?
I don't know why.
She wouldn't talk?
But an RBI hit off your brother in a playoff game, we've never seen that
We've
before.
never seen a playoff game with the brothers getting the hits off brothers.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Anyways, he got an RBI single last night, and Aaron Nola kind of fell apart in the fifth inning. He allowed 5 runs in the fifth inning. Austin has 2 career hits against Aaron, and both of them are RBI singles. But let's talk about Kershaw for a minute. Right?
Oh, okay, you want to talk about
next?
Kershaw? Go ahead.
Clayton
Yeah.
Kershaw is going to hit free agency for the second straight winter. And last offseason, the Dodgers, they surprisingly elected not to make Kershaw the qualifying offer. Friedman explained that the Dodgers didn't want to pressure him into making a decision whether to return in the 10-day window that they had. And, of course, Kershaw didn't make a decision until after the lockout and really just pretty much signed for the same amount, $17 million. But because they didn't offer him a qualifying offer last year, they still can offer him one this year. You only get one in your career. And Friedman says, like I said last year, I'm not going to make him rush to decide whether or not he wants to come back. The qualifying offer this year is $19.65 million. Does that include all the inflation costs or what?
I have no idea.
I don't think they added in inflation.
I have no idea. What,
Can
the
you even
qualifying
live off
offer?
19
That's it, $19 million. I don't know how they figured that out.
They figure it out based on the average amount of...
On 125, on the top 125 salaries. That's what they figured out.
Anyways, they're saying they absolutely want Kershaw to come back. He had a 2.28 ERA across 126 and a third innings. He struck out 27.8% of batters, and he only walked 4.7% of batters. And that includes the fact that he was out for a month because of a hip, and then out for a month because of his back, which is a lingering issue that's never going to go away. But if you are fine with 125 innings from Kershaw, they're going to be stellar like they always are.
Could be, very much.
You can't expect a full season.
But he's not getting traded. He's not getting traded. People say he's going to Texas.
There's no trade. He's
because
a free
that's
agent.
where he lives. No, okay. He's not going to Texas. Not going to Texas. What about...
Wait a minute. Ryan Nolan did that.
Who?
Ryan Nolan?
Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan.
Who's Ryan Nolan? Anyway, and talking about Steve
clearly
Cohen.
you knew who he was.
Steve Cohen. There's more to the Mets than just having a winning season. The Mets are a team that just screws up. When the Mets made the World Series against the eventual champions in Kansas City, that was in 2015.
You're just skipping shit again.
Zach Wheeler, who at the time was... This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
I remember we were in the car listening to the World Series.
Yes,
in the car,
that's
driving.
right. And Zach Wheeler, who was recovering from Tommy John surgery at the time, Zach Wheeler asked the team if he could attend the games in person. That's the World Series.
They denied him.
And his request was denied. He asked if he could sit in the stands. He was told he'd have to pay his own tickets. He
stayed home. He lived in Atlanta at the time. And he watched the Mets postseason games. He wanted to be close to his pals. They said no. He said he's never going to forget it, too.
I was reading John Harper's column. I think it was he's a great New York writer. So $1 billion franchise telling one of their future aces to buy his own...
They didn't like him that much at the time.
And that's why he left the Mets. He was astonished. He was furious. You name it, he felt it. The Mets wouldn't let him be around this... It's okay if you burp when you're in the kitchen, okay?
No,
but
I
not
like-
when you're on the microphone. Give me a break.
I just want everybody to know that girls burp too.
Okay, girls burp, all right? So the Mets undervalued him, and I'll tell you what. And that's why I'm thinking that the Philly team is going to beat San Diego. Okay?
I want to just mention, since you keep giving this about Ohtani,
Yeah.
he went back home to Japan, and on Tuesday he spoke with the Associated Press, and he basically stated that he's really disappointed with the Angels' inability to win. He said that August and September in particular felt longer to me than last year because the Angels were not able to play as many good games as we would like, including 14 consecutive losses, and he has a rather negative impression of the season. But here's Ohtani. From August on, he batted .303 with a .363 on-base percentage. He had a runs created plus of 156, an ERA of 1.62 in 66 and 2/3 innings. And he is vocalizing. Is that a word?
Yeah, vocalizing.
Yeah. Well, he's saying out loud to the papers, he's getting really sick and tired of losing. The Angels, I mean, wouldn't you?
And it ain't getting any better. The Angels may be forced. They may have to shake this team up with a wholesale amount of change.
All right, let's talk about the Yankees and the Astros for a second.
What about? There's no way the Yankees are beating the Astros.
The Yankees
So
have
if you're-
never beaten the Astros.
Bet on the Astros. I don't know what the odds are, but whatever they are, bet the Astros.
The Yankees have never beaten the Astros
Oh,
in
yeah.
a postseason series.
Oh, really? Okay.
And Luis Severino says, you know, he was asked about the hostile environment in Houston. He says, everywhere we go, we're not liked. But that's not true. This is a team, this is the only team in baseball, wherever they go across the country,
Yes.
people are wearing their hats, their shirts. Even if it's not a Yankees game, they're still wearing Yankees
But
garb.
everybody, you love to hate the Yankees.
That's true. I do. I kind of do.
Well, wait a second.
I know. I try to be a Yankee fan.
Wait a second. I tried to be a
I
Yankee
do.
fan. Let's get into that
I
a little
can't help
bit.
it.
When I first met you, you were Andrea Sox fan. Now I said
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Red Sox
But
fan.
I love to go thrift shopping, and there is no Red Sox clothing in the thrift stores here. You can only, and there's all kinds of Yankee stuff, hoodies, shirts, everything at the thrift store.
Of course.
So I tried to
Well, how
be
about
a
if you go-
Yankees fan for
we
that.
We were in Boston. Did you buy any Red Sox stuff there? That's before you became a
I
Red
didn't
Sox
get
fan.
to, no.
But your story is fascinating.
Oh, come on.
It is, and I'll tell you why. So I met you. You were Andrea Red Sox fan. Then you decided to become a Yankee fan.
Yes, because I wanted to get, I like all the stuff at the thrift store.
But you hated the Yankees to the point that you still, one of the, 3 stadiums you have never been to in the entire country is Yankee Stadium. You wouldn't even go there for the David Ortiz.
Yes, I did.
No,
Yes, I wanted to go, but you wouldn't go with me.
Okay. But your favorite sports personality,
It's Big Poppy.
no, it's not
you?
what you told me. It's me. No, is George Steinbrenner.
I like
because in a roundabout way, Steinbrenner, because of your hatred for the Yankees, made you into the baseball fan that you are. You hated the Yankees so much that you became a big baseball fan, and because of Steinbrenner. I think that's fascinating, and you admit that Steinbrenner is your most interesting sports personality.
Well, when Steinbrenner died, I cried. And that's when I realized that I needed it. Like, I needed him to become
Right.
a good baseball fan.
You needed Steinbrenner.
But do you
just
remember
like
when I put a Red Sox bumper sticker on our car when I first moved here and our car got keyed?
Yeah, car got key. But yeah, it's like being a wrestling fan, and I used to root for the Graham brothers, who were the evil guys. Dr. Jerry and Eddie Graham, okay? Love them or hate them, 4 100-team wins made
Well,
the
no.
No,
There
no.
was 4 teams that won 100 games this season.
Yeah.
And only one of them is still alive.
That's what I was saying.
You
And
got
the
it wrong.
Astros are the last one standing. The Astros and the visiting Yankees met 7 times in the regular season. The Astros won 5 of those matchups, including all 3 at Minute Maid Park. How about that?
Okay, Alex Bregman.
Yeah, what do you think of him for next year?
I can't. No way. I have
You
not
didn't like
drafted
him this year
never.
either, right?
No. I do not like him.
Oh, wait a second. Let's all rise.
Antonio.
And Jack is here. Antonio and Jack. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Antonio.
I got to pay for the NL League. I must pay my dues.
You got to pay
I came
your
in
dues.
fourth, Leonard.
Oh, you did? Nice. All right. That's okay. How many teams were there?
12.
All right. You made your...
NL only.
NL only is tough. So what about Alex Bregman? His value has seemed to go down. 2022, he had 23 home runs, right?
Yeah.
And in 2022,
okay,
every batted ball that he hit.
Now, this is for Eddie Heckman.
Inside Camden Yards would have been only 9 home runs.
Yes. So,
Yeah, I understand Eddie Heckman, Camden Yards.
Yeah, because Alex Bregman's total of home runs, if every batted ball was hit inside Camden Yards, he would have only had 9 home runs. But, of course, he had 23 on the season because he's got a great ballpark and all of this. There's only one hitter in baseball with 100 or more plate appearances in both 2021 and 2022 who improved both his batting or his walk rate and his strikeout rate by 5% or more.
Whoa.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Now, I looked up this guy's stats, and you would be amazed. Look at this graph. Look at this.
Well, I don't want to...
It's all green.
Jordan Alvarez.
Everything improved. His contact rate...
Oh, boy. How much we paying for Jordan Alvarez next year? $32. I say $32 for Jordan Alvarez next year. Anybody say 33?
I'll tell you what.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's ask the chat room. Over or under $30 for Jordan Alvarez? All right? Over or under?
He plays outfield now. That's another thing that's going in his favor. But let me tell you, every single metric on this guy is way above average. I mean, it is green to the max. Okay. His exit velocity, his walk rate, his contact rate, everything went up. And he is definitely, how old is he now? 25.
Everybody in the chat room is saying over. Jeff Trella.
He's only 25.
Yep, only 25.
Hello, Jack. Jack is here.
Jack is here. Now, would you take Alvarez over any other power hitter? Who would you?
Judge?
Who would you take in next year? Jordan Alvarez or Aaron Judge? That's a great one. Jordan Alvarez, Aaron Judge.
Doesn't matter. They're both
who are you taking next year? It does matter.
How?
Because let's say it's your turn to pick.
They're both the same guy.
So who would you take?
Probably Judge.
So if you say, but all right, I understand that. If you say
but he's
both the same guy, who's the same guy related to me?
Depends on what team Judge goes to. Also, by the way,
that's a good point. That's a good point. But you you even say Judge is staying as a Yankee, right? The Yankees, come on,
man! If you see him entering the dugout and stuff, you just know that the Yankees have to sign Judge.
The Yankees are in on every player, and how do they let their best player go?
Blah blah.
Not going to happen. So it's just not going to happen. Jordan Alvarez. What are you patting my stomach for? Am I losing weight?
Yes, you are.
Since he was moved to the leadoff position. Gleyber Torres.
He sucks as a leadoff guy.
He does.
He sucks.
He does. So who's going to bat leadoff for the Yankees?
Anybody but him.
Harrison Bader?
What about that guy with the necklace that also stinks too, that's playing shortstop?
Oh, no, he can't.
He sucks too, right?
But since moved to the leadoff position this postseason.
He's 1 for 11.
Aaron Judge, Gleyber, 1 for 11.
His batting average is 170.
A single and 2, 175.
Sorry.
In his career, 175 batting leadoff. It's a terrible option.
1 for 11 with a single and 2 walks, batting leadoff. Why did they put him in the leadoff spot?
Unbelievable.
Who batted leadoff most of the season for this team? Is he not available at this point?
I don't know who batted leadoff.
Jeez Louise.
I don't remember.
It's a horrible move, I gotta say.
All the writers for the New York Post.
They all. Okay.
Well, every writer.
I like the Post.
The only writer, Ian O'Connor, there's only one writer out of 7. Out of 7 in the New York Post, the New York newspaper, only one writer, Ian O'Connor, says the Yankees in 7. Everybody else says the Astros.
I'll take the Yankees.
Everybody else says the Astros.
But what's the record now? 2-1?
I don't know.
2-0? What's the record between the Yankees and the Houston Astros? Tell me in the chat room. Somebody in there knows.
I don't know.
What are
now,
you doing?
let's talk about
This is new?
one of the exciting things we're going to do in the offseason. Not this one.
I'm looking at your screen
is
now.
the shortstops that are available. And one of the teams that will not be, let's talk about one of the teams that could be eliminated. The Cardinals don't need a big name shortstop.
That's because they already have two shortstops that work fine.
Yeah.
Edmund, he's a utility guy.
And Donovan and Gorman.
It's okay for you to burp over there, but not over here.
And Gorman is positioned for second base. Don't forget Mason Wynn. He might be up next year. So,
but it doesn't matter if he's up. He doesn't have a place to play because you already have Edmund and Donovan and Gorman. He's playing second base, but still.
Yeah.
Come on. They don't even need Mason Wynn. So.
But the team that's going to be very active is your Seattle Mariners, okay?
Yeah, Jerry Dipoto is always active
He's
anyway.
always active. He says
he wants to land a shortstop that would like to also play second base.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
And
okay.
He's really likely referring to one of these shortstops. I mean, we have just a swarm of shortstops in the league that are becoming free agents. Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson, and Trey Turner. Ooh, Dansby. He's my favorite. I just love Dansby because he's affordable. He's still going to be affordable compared to Trey Turner.
Yeah, you picked him this year. You and Derek Hardy talked about him.
I've been picking him since the bat told me to.
But each of the any of these shortstops would instantly. Seattle is going to be a big player. They'll all require multi-year contracts. They project. The Mariners, by the way, project to have a payroll capacity to splurge on any one of the players that they want. They rank 22nd in MLB with an opening day payroll just shy of $104 million.
So they have money.
They got money. From 2016 to 2019, the Mariners averaged total payrolls of about $150 million. The Mariners are going to be big time.
Well, I mean,
big time.
They have $91 million worth of payment commitments for 2023, and that's according to Roster Resource, which gets his information from I don't know where. Anyway, Mitch Haniger is going to be okay. I do think they will bring back Mitch Haniger. He's going to be a free agent. That's a big deal. They like him. They were talking about trading him just a couple years ago.
Right.
But because he wasn't healthy at the time, they couldn't trade him. But I really don't know. I hope they keep Mitch Haniger. He's a sneaky good fantasy guy, too. Because of the fact that he's been hurt so much. I know, we're hardly getting through our notes, right?
I don't care. You're doing a good job.
Why are you looking at the clock?
I want to see what time it is. That's why I look at the clock. You're listening to The Lady and the Legend. And now we are... Well, you
I just gave you Wet Willie.
Wet Willie. Now let's get to the Phillies for a second. Aaron Nola, this is fascinating. Aaron Nola faced 81 hitters over parts of 5 starts since he last gave up an earned run.
Which was in September,
at the end of September. Then he gave up 2 runs on back-to-back homers on back-to-back pitches.
And Josh Bell hit one of them. And you haven't been very nice to Josh Bell.
It's not just, Drury and Bell hit back-to-back consecutive pitches to open the bottom of the inning.
It's time to start betting on the Padres. Because the odds are probably in your favor. I mean, for betting purposes. Where's King Hap?
No,
Is he here today?
I don't know. King Hap,
I missed his show last night.
I don't think he recovered from his show. I would think that I'm betting the Philadelphia. I just think Wheeler and Nola are just...
And Harper?
No. The pitchers and the bullpen
sucks.
Dominguez and Robertson is back.
I don't know how they even made it this far with their bullpen.
Robertson is back.
I mean, their pitching, their defense is horrible.
Now,
their bullpen is horrible. I don't know how they got this far, but they did.
Nola gave up another hit on an 0-2 count. He allowed 11 hits in the regular season on no ball, 2-strike counts. Now, batters in the postseason, they're 5 for 8. On 0-2 pitches.
Including last night.
Unbelievable.
And that's when they have 2 strikes.
Yeah.
So,
Did you hear what Cisco Lascano? You know who Cisco Lascano is?
Cisco?
Cisco.
No
He
idea.
had a number of years in the major leagues. He did play with San Diego, and he did play with Philadelphia. He says, this is from Cisco Lascano.
Why does he say this?
The Phillies get more amped up for Dollar Dog Night. Philly fans get more amped up for Dollar Dog Night
that's pretty good
than
deal.
the Padres fans do for the National League Championship Series.
How can he say that?
Let's
There's
ask Mal Pal.
45,000 people in the stands yesterday.
Is he right? There,
Bullshit.
you asked for King Hap, and look who's in the chat room.
Hello, King
We
Hap.
just asked about you, the King of all Haps. Merrill and Mitchell are together. The chat room, once again, is flying. We are
Mitchell.
flying. Mitchell, Merrill, Chris Gallo, Greg, DK Lush, Jeff Trella, Kenny Flammia, Malpal, Merrill, Hap, Toledo, White Sox Al, Zelmo. What? All the guests? You got to be kidding me. Go ahead.
This guy, Sixto Lascano, he played for the Phillies in 1982 and he played for San Diego in 1982 and Phillies in 1984.
Right.
That's a long time ago.
Okay, but still.
So how is he saying that
He's talking about the fans.
Was he talking about the fans in 1982 or the fans in 1984 or the fans now?
No,
because
the fans are the fans. The fans.
He says the fans get more amped up for Dollar Dog Night, which, by the way, is a good reason to get amped
I would
up.
never go to a game where you had 10,000 dogs in the stands.
Listen to me.
I mean, you got to be out of your mind.
Dollar Dog Night is for hot dogs. Hot dogs.
Oh, that's right.
That's for
all right,
dog
the
day at
next
the park. Okay, hold on. Remember the time we went to the all-you-can-eat section?
Yes.
Okay.
We didn't eat very much either.
But they had peanuts and hot dogs.
That was in Arizona.
I ate as many as I could.
Philly hitters in game one, 31 batters, 3 hits. Philly hitters in the second inning last night, 15 pitches and 5 hits. So that's baseball for you. That's the way it goes. Okay?
Jeremy Pena. Is he upping his ante for next year's
Wait
cost?
a second.
He was a great player this year, and
Yeah,
he's the one that
right.
won the game last night, by
We'll
the way.
get to Pena in just a few seconds. Okay?
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the game last night.
Blake Snell.
With the Padres and the Phillies,
Yeah.
8-5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Padres, Blake Snell struck out 5 of the last hitters that he faced. He threw 89 pitches. He actually averaged, think of this for Blake Snell, 98.7 pitches per game in his last 9 starts dating back to August 30th, including 90 and 96 pitches in his 2 previous postseason starts. So Blake Snell, this guy that couldn't even get deep into games, is now, according to this, it says he averaged almost 100 pitches per game in his last 9 starts.
Okay.
Dating back to August.
Now, the Padres were not rattled when they fell behind 4-0 the second inning.
No, they weren't, because Macho Man...
That's right. And then, of course,
Macho,
Drury and Bell, back-to-back homers for the Padres.
And Macho homered in the 7th.
Off of Aaron Nola. Now, you talked about Blake Snell. Josh Hader, wow, got the win.
He's really good,
He
huh?
got the save. He struck out the side in the 9th inning.
He looks good.
And he looks good.
Let's ask Malpal what he thinks of Hader now.
What do you think of Josh Hader, Malpal?
I don't know if he's going to have an unbiased position because he might have not did well in fantasy because of Hader.
Malpal has been ragging on Josh Hader since the trade.
But
Cisco
he's
played like
great.
a 19, probably hasn't been in San Diego in 30 years. Good morning to White Sox Al.
Terrible defense behind Snell.
So Snell
Hello,
had 4
White Sox
runs,
Al.
5 hits, as you said.
It's Joe Musgrove.
And it's going to be interesting to see if Musgrove's ears are sweating again. I mean, come
Leave
on.
him alone. You know, I had not an argument, but a discussion.
A fly ball that should have been caught. An
you
RBI
go.
on a grounder that should have been handled. 4 singles on balls that traveled 71 miles per hour, 84 miles per hour, 61 miles per hour, 71 miles per hour. You got to be kidding.
Okay, and it took him 37 pitches to get through.
And the Phillies were leading 4-0.
The 5th inning. And, the Phillies led 4-1 in that inning. But like Malpal said, what you just listed off about the defense behind Snell, that Snell probably deserved even more credit than we're giving him because, these guys were getting hits on balls that were exiting the bat at 60. I could catch that, okay? I could catch 60.
Yep.
miles an hour.
And the Phillies entered 27-2 in franchise postseason history when they
leading
led
by four more
runs.
Every team is when
Yep.
they lead by more than
Yeah,
4 runs. That's just a
okay.
ridiculous tidbit.
Here's another one. The Padres haven't lost 2 games in a row during the postseason. So it's going to be Musgrove going against Ranger Suarez, okay? And we'll see.
I have to root for the Padres.
But entering the postseason,
I'm rooting for Machado.
Josh Hader, you're a big Machado.
I just think
Why
he's
Machado?
the coolest. He's the coolest player in baseball.
You're listening to Lady in the Legend. We're taking it till 10 a.m. Eastern Time, so hang in there, okay? Josh Hader, never touched the 100. I thought.
Is that even possible?
Never touched 100 miles per hour in his career.
And he's thrown 6 pitches so far this postseason that have hit 100 miles an hour.
Including the strikeout, if you saw, of Alec Boehm yesterday, all right? So he comes into the game 2, with the Padres up 8-5. And the last 14 games, Malpal,
Hader
has not been scored upon, and he struck out the side.
Go Hader.
Okay,
now we'll talk about the Astros.
Astros and the Yankees.
I like Jeremy Pena.
Go ahead.
He's great. I think his cost just went up because of what he did. And it wasn't even that spectacular. It's just that when you bring these players into the forefront. But I could say one thing about the Yankees fans.
Go ahead.
They love Matt Carpenter. Okay? They love him.
They love Matt Carpenter.
They do. When he came up.
Matt Carpenter has been awful.
They still love him.
Matt Carpenter has been awful.
I don't care. He's a fan favorite. And he's going to be that way.
He's 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts and 8 runners left on base.
Do you remember
that's your Matt Carpenter.
I know. Okay, but I just wanted to say, because I didn't get a chance to say it, but when Matt Carpenter comes out with his mustache, the fans go crazy.
Because of his mustache.
They love him.
How about if he gets a hit?
One of the play-by-play guys said that he looks like a character in Tombstone.
So you were talking about Jeremy Pena, who we discovered.
And
we discovered him on our podcast.
When did we didn't discover
at the beginning of last season? Maybe
BS.
It was. Yes, it wasn't
didn't even
BS.
talk about him.
We talked about him, and he was vulnerable against sliders in the regular season. Yeah. How about that one?
He had 2 extra base hits on sliders. He has not been good this season on sliders, but it's just another thing. I mean, he's getting better. He's a rookie, right? He's a rookie.
That's right.
We weren't talking about him.
And we weren't talking about him because he came into 2022 filling the shoes of Carlos Correa.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about him at drafts.
We definitely did talk about him. As a matter of fact, I remember calling Irwin and talking about him. Irwin says, "Who is he?"
Exactly.
What do you end up with? 18 home runs. Yuli Gurriel launched a tie-breaking homer
in the
Yuli. 6th. Chas McCormick, Jeremy Pena, 4-0 in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're 4-0. So you're going to sit here and you're going to complain that they got too much rest.
I didn't complain. I said that's what people could be saying, either too much rest or the Yankees didn't have enough rest.
You know they're saying it.
All right? So they're 4-0. 106 and 56 during the regular season. It's their 6th consecutive
American League Championship Series. Astros.
Nobody gives them the credit that they deserve.
Verlander deserves it. Did you see him yesterday?
Are
you kidding me?
8th
double-digit strikeout game in the postseason. He passed Clayton Kershaw to become the career leader in postseason strikeouts with 219. That's crazy. That's crazy. Looked excellent.
Yep, the Yankees whiffed 17 times in all and only 2 for the Astros. That's the largest difference ever in postseason history. 17-2 with strikeouts. How about that one? And
Jeremy Pena had 3 extra base hits. It's tied for the most by a rookie in a postseason game. He tied with Carlos Correa, Evan Longoria, Jacoby Ellsbury,
and Jim Jr. Gilliam. You know who Junior Gilliam was?
No.
Junior Gilliam was the number 19 second baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He led it off, and as Vin Scully would say, here's the starting lineup. It's Gilliam, Reese, Snyder, Hodges, Ferrillo, Campanella.
And Harrison Bader, your boy, he's hit 4 home runs in 6 games in the postseason, in the playoffs.
Okay,
once again, his fantasy value for next year is going to be higher than deserving. And I won't have him on my team.
You won't have him on your team.
It's the first time he's ever hit 4 or more home runs in any 6-game span in his career ever, which isn't I mean, that's kind of hard to do. So he's the first player in Yankees history with 4 home runs in his first 6 playoff games with the team. He did not hit a home run in 14 regular season games with New York. He only played in 14 games.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Okay.
That's
All right. Well, but still, look, you know what? I look in this chat room. We are loaded. Yeah, Jim Gilliam, number 19, he was a switch hitter. Unbelievable turnout in the chat room. Thank you, everybody.
Stardog, I got your check.
And if you missed the King Hap show last night, listen to it on demand, okay? Sometimes
I missed it, Leonard.
We both missed it, but still. So, Harrison Bader, the first player in Yankee history.
I just said that.
Well, yeah, unbelievable. Verlander's 6 consecutive strikeouts, and that matched the postseason record. And it's the second time he's tied that. Verlander, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Is there any doubt?
I love Verlander.
He now has 8 career 10 strikeout games in the postseason. That's 2 more than anybody else.
He's the best.
And Pena, 3 extra base hits. Or well, you said
somebody said yesterday they were going to pay $30 for Verlander. I love him more than anybody, and I couldn't even do that.
And here's another one tonight. Framber Valdez goes against Luis Severino.
Luis Severino and the Yankees.
What do you think?
Framber's been excellent.
A 3.18 ERA opposes Luis Severino.
Who's also,
I don't know.
he's 4.76 ERA in the postseason.
I don't know. Let's just go over some general notes. Oh, this is interesting. Looking at the team leaderboards for the hardest hit home run.
Of the era, of the whole StatCast era.
Yeah.
This is since StatCast became
All
a
right.
thing. Who's
I'll ask
number
you,
one?
who's number one? For the Phillies. Who's number one in hardest hit home runs for the Phillies?
Oh, this is a great
Schwarber
tidbit.
and Harper, right? Now,
yeah, number 1 Schwarber, number 2 Harper.
now
for the
let's
Phillies.
go to the chat room. Who's the number 1 hardest hit home run in the StatCast era for the Washington Nationals? Name the 2 players. For the Phillies, it's Schwarber and Harper. Who is the number 1 and 2 for the hardest hit home runs in the StatCast era for the Washington Nationals? Anybody want to take a chance? This one, you're really going to have to think. All right? Eddie Heckman saying hi again, okay? There you go. Who is it?
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Harper and Schwarber.
Harper and Schwarber. That's right. The hardest hit home runs of the StatCast era for the Phillies, Harper and Schwarber, and for the Nationals, Harper and Schwarber. The Phillies now have won 6 straight first game ones on the road. They're 9-2 all time in road game ones. That's the best record in the history by any team. How about those Phillies?
Jose Ramirez will undergo surgery.
Did you notice that in the second half of the season, he kind of slowed down?
I don't have him on. I didn't get a chance to even have him on any team.
But he slowed down in the second half. He's expected to be ready for spring training.
He needs surgery on his thumb.
Yeah, surgery on his right hand, his thumb. So
is that going to change your outlook for him? They say he's going to be ready for spring.
Well, I don't know. Can you just punch up his second half, his stats since mid-June? And let's see how much it affected him. Now, he's having it corrected. And I'm not going to go away from it because he had it corrected. The only players that I stay away from is when they don't have their injuries corrected, when they say we're going to play through it. All right? We're going to play through it.
Okay, just the worst.
What's the worst?
Fangraphs just has the worst ads. They've turned into just a freaking pop-up ad nightmare, dude.
And so far in the postseason, the teams that scored first are 19-9. And the teams to out-homer opponents, wow, are 15-5. And last year, 25-2 in the postseason. Okay? Still trying to look up Jose Ramirez?
I can't because there's too many. It's really tough.
And 45.8% of runs have been scored via the home run. Last year it was 39.8. So the home run playing up. And you talk about home runs. You talk about Stanton. He had a great postseason. And he only had 2 hits. I think they were both home runs. So
the first half he hit 260 with 19 homers.
Yeah.
And 60 runs and 52 RBIs. The second half, he hit .273 with 17 homers. He didn't cool off.
Oh,
wait, that's last year. Why?
Yeah,
Why is
I
this?
don't know. Anyway,
Why
30,
is it? Wait.
at
This is
39 years, 241 days, I know
weird.
that
It doesn't
because
even have 22 in it.
Justin Verlander is the second
This is
oldest
absurd.
pitcher in postseason history with a 10 strikeout game.
So sad
What?
watching Fangraphs suck.
Yeah, well, sorry.
You can't even. It doesn't even show 2022 in here. It only goes up to
Okay,
21.
relax. We're doing a show.
You told me to look it up.
Wait,
I can't find the answer.
Well,
because
we're not going to spend
because
the
this
next.
thing is full of pop-ups.
We're not spending the next couple of minutes looking it up. That's it.
Well, just keep
Now,
talking then.
Verlander, 8 career 10 strikeout games, 2 more than anyone else all time. Justin Verlander, how could he have been traded? Okay.
When did he get traded? He's been with the Astros forever.
No, he wasn't.
He's been with them for the last 5 years or so.
Oh, but that's not forever. That's not forever. Fix the phone. Players batting first in the lineup so far this season. This is fascinating. Players batting first in the lineup for all the teams.
So Gleyber Torres isn't that bad compared to the rest of the...
Well, maybe not. For all the teams, they're 38 for 215. That's a 177 batting average. The National League, they're 21 for 103. But here's the
And in the
interesting
American
thing.
League, they're 17 for 112.
17 for 112.
Yeah, that's...
But in the American League. But Quan on Cleveland, okay,
He was 9 for 30.
9 for 30, while the others were 8 for 82. How about that?
Yeah.
Dominating.
Stephen Kwan.
And what do you think for Quan next year?
I'm not going to have him.
You're not going to have him.
No.
I mean, it's not going to be an expensive player.
I think he will.
He could steal 25 bases.
But you think there's going to be a whole bunch more steals?
Absolutely.
I don't.
And the question there is, the guys who steal 30, 35, will they be devalued? Like a John Birdie, will he be devalued?
He already goes like 400th overall, so how can he be devalued? What is he going to be, going 700th overall? I mean, he hardly gets drafted as it is.
Now, here's one for you.
Oh, Lord.
The most home runs in the first 6 playoff games with the Yankees. The Yankees, the team of Ruth, Garrett, DiMaggio, Mantle, Maris, all those guys. Who has the most home runs in the first 6 playoff games with the Yankees?
We already told the answer, Linda.
Who has the most home runs in the first 6 playoff games with the Yankees? Who is it?
Bader.
Harrison Bader. Followed by Raul Ibanez, Paul O'Neill, and Charlie Keller. That is incredible.
And that's it.
All right? So, a sincere thank you to everybody who made this one of the greatest chat rooms ever. Greg, Chris Gallo, DK Lush, thank you all. Eddie Heckman, the king of all haps. Don't forget, if you missed it last night, listen to King Hap on Demand. Malpal, Merrill, Mitchell, they stayed together for almost the whole show. What a...
They've been together their whole
Star
lives.
Dogs. Tommy John... And by the way, if you can, take a look at my story on Facebook. This is for the Hearts and Boys. Take a look at my story on Facebook. It's up on top. Look it up. If you have a hard time getting it, let me know.
What's your story, Leonard?
Take a look at it. Tommy Johnson, nice going. Unholy Toledo, okay? White Sox Gal, Zelmo. Holy cow! What a! Hope you enjoyed The Lady and the Legend, and thank you, Eddie Heckman, for encouraging us. Have a great day, everybody, and we absolutely love you all. And yes, I'll be back tomorrow with more.